everybody, this is Shannon from Wise Woman Oracle, and tonight is my first live reading. Thank you guys so much for joining me or for watching this later. So grab a cup of tea, get yourself cozy, and tonight I'm going to be drinking Tulsi Holy Basil tea, which is a new favorite of mine. Just got it from Trader Joe's, so I highly recommend it. It's not the sweetest tea or, the most flavorful if you're looking for something that's sweet or cinnamony, but I really, really like it. So I'll be drinking that tonight. And so go ahead, make yourselves comfortable. I have 2 readings to do tonight. But first what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about how I do my readings. So everybody is different. Every reader is different. I like to use oracle cards. This is one of my favorite decks that people who have been working with me or coming to my circles probably know very well. Most of my decks I've had for a number of years, and I just kind of get to know them and get a feel for them. I think it's important when you're doing a reading for somebody or for yourself that you really get to know which deck is right for you and right for the topic. So the 2 topics that we're going to be looking at tonight are about what's coming up next career-wise. A lot of people who come to me for readings really want to know, what do I need to do next in my career? How do I make a living doing something that I absolutely love? So these 2 readings are going to be focused on that. So my first step when I do readings is to open up the deck. And tonight is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. So again, like I said, one of my favorite decks and just a really powerful tool. I have many different decks. I probably have too many decks, but this is one that I tend to go to, especially if somebody's asking about kind of where do I go next, what happens next for me, more on the physical realm rather than something about healing emotionally or health-wise. So after that, I take out my deck, I shuffle up my cards, one's jumping out. So the first reading I'm going to do is for Karen. I'm going to pull a card for her, and I'm actually feeling I was going to do 1 card for each reading, but I often do more than that. So tonight I'm going to do 2 and see what comes out. Okay, so after I pull my cards, I don't look at them. I put them face down, both of them face down first, and then I flip them over, because sometimes I think that you can be influenced if you see which card you pulled first and then you pull another one. Sometimes it might influence your read on them or the energy of the reading. So I do both face down first, and in my circles I also recommend that as well. Okay, so Karen, you had asked about career and things going on as you're moving into a new chapter in your life. So the 2 cards, I'm glad that I pulled 2 because you're going to see why in a second. The first card is not for you. This is the first one that popped out. I'll get to what it means in a second. When people see this card in circles or in readings, they often get a little bit of a fearful reaction because they think, oh, what am I doing wrong? So I'll go into its meaning and what I think it means for you in just a second. And then I'll show you your other card too. So this is the Clean It Up card, and this card, it came through reversed. Sometimes with reversed cards, there's a little bit of a blockage or an energy challenge around them. Sometimes I read reversed, sometimes I don't. This one I'll probably read both ways, because the feeling I'm getting around it is that it's not a blockage, it's just kind of a next step. All right, so the Not For You card. This means that there's something going on for you that just isn't in your highest good right now. The feeling I'm getting around this is what's happening is more you're kind of jumping up to your mind space rather than staying in your heart or staying in the flow of your energy and what you really want to have happen in the world come through you, that you're kind of jumping into a fear-based state. And this isn't uncommon when people are trying to bring in something new. I know personally the first place I go to is the worst case scenario. Like, what is the worst thing that can happen? I tend to worry about things, and that's kind of the feeling I'm getting around here. The Not For You card is telling you to go into a space that really is vibrant and is going to bring you to that place where you want to be. This might include some elements of self-care, so getting into a relaxed state where you can take a deep breath, relax the body, relax the mind, and tune into what it is that you really want. Keep seeing you moving from the head into the heart space, and anything you can do, any practices you can do on a daily basis to just move into that space, that's going to lead you into where you are meant to go next. I am seeing for you from a career perspective, I'm seeing this huge surge of creativity, and it feels like it's just getting a little bit blocked or a little bit stopped because of that sort of analytical mindset that's kind of saying, how do I do this? Is this really possible for me? I don't know if I can. Those kind of thoughts that tend to arise. I'm seeing around you, I'm seeing all sorts of like different artistry tools and like paintbrushes and writing and jewelry making and beads, and it feels like you're doing a bunch of different things, and I'm seeing an Etsy shop or some sort of online, maybe it's a blog, it's something where you're actually putting yourself out there. So you're not just taking a small step and keeping it to yourself or keeping it just kind of within your inner circle. You're actually taking this creative project and you're starting to spread the word about it to lots of different people. And I'm seeing you connecting with people from different parts of the country and maybe even different parts of the world. Travel might be an element in this eventually too. So I'm going to move on to your next card, which is the Clean It Up card. So the Clean It Up card, again, it's like getting rid of anything that you don't need, that doesn't serve you. So this can happen on a physical level. It can mean going through your closets and your drawers and clearing out stuff that's just been piling up or blocking you. And again, when these suggestions come in a reading, it's either a suggestion of something to do or a confirmation of what you are currently doing. So if you are starting to clean things out and get rid of old papers and old clothes and donating stuff, that's definitely on the right track. So you do have this big project, this big rush of creativity that's coming through, and it feels really joyful and really creative and energetic and beautiful. And it's all about just getting rid of the stuff, the physical stuff, and also the mental clutter that's kind of just, a little bit of an energetic web around you right now. I would say focus on that for the next 2 weeks or so, and definitely with our new moon tomorrow night, start to plant those seeds of intention for what it is that you do want to bring into this world. And I'm also seeing, because I do know you, I'm seeing your daughter coming in, and I feel like she has a part to play in this, whether she takes what you're making and kind of talks to her friends about it, or is sort of like a partnership in this. She feels like she plays an important role in helping you take your project to that next level. So please feel free to send me a message if you have any questions about anything that I said. I'm happy to answer them. And I am going to go on to my next reading. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the same deck. Again, it's Wisdom of the Oracle, Colette Baron Reid. And this is a reading for Giovanna. And I'm going to shuffle the deck several times. I am not a master shuffler. If you can see me, I'm not sure if I'm in the camera frame or not. There's some cards popping out. So when cards pop out, I take them right away because I know that they have some more significant meaning. Like I said, I'm not a master shuffler. I am not playing Russian roulette with the cards or whatever the casino game is. That's not what I'm doing. But I do kind of mush them around a few times to get my energy into them. I've heard a lot of great advice about clearing card decks too. If you use your cards a lot, they tend to kind of accumulate the energy of your readings, and if you're working with people, they accumulate that energy too. I've heard suggestions that putting a little bit of salt at the bottom of your box or putting them in moonlight or sunlight is a great way to clear them. I like to use smudging or sage. So I'll burn the sage and kind of smudge around my whole office space down here, and my cards as well. So that's something I like to do. And the card decks that I love to work with, that I've been working with for many years now, um, sometimes I just feel like they clear themselves, like they know me well, they know the people that I want to work with, and they just kind of pull out the cards that are meant to be pulled out without too much of my input. All right. Okay. So I pulled two cards for you too. And I know you had a couple different questions tonight, and I was going to kind of see where the cards were leading me. I feel like they're leading me with two of your questions. So the first card I'm going to address is more in the career sector. This card is Go the Distance. It did come in reversed, but I also read upright. So if you can see the card, Go the Distance, and I know you have this deck, so you can take a look at it too and look at the guidebook as well. Go the Distance is thinking about your life in terms of it's a marathon, not a sprint. And what I feel now, I'm getting the phrase long term in my head. I'm feeling you leaving where you are currently soon, and I'm hearing spring, so I feel like it's going to happen before we get to the solstice, which is, I believe, June 20th or somewhere around there. So it's going to happen before June 20th, where you are out the door and not returning. That being said, the next position that you take is going to be the one where you can really stay the course for a long time. I know things have been a little bit jarring back and forth with different places, and I'm just feeling a deep breath and a sigh of relief, and you settling in to where you're supposed to be right now. And I'm seeing your physical body, and what I'm seeing is you pushing down roots through your feet, and also these like branches coming out through your head, through your arms, and reaching out toward the sky. The image, the way I'm interpreting that in relation to your career, is that you'll finally have a place where you can feel like you can push down your roots and feel safe and stable and steady and secure, but you're also going to have the opportunity to expand. And it does feel like the position that you had mentioned in your question is I'm going to say, is a great opportunity to do that. I am feeling a huge rush of energy around it, and I'm just getting this image of you being embraced, like these arms wrapping around you. And I feel like I'm getting goosebumps, and often when I get goosebumps, it's a confirmation for me of, okay, yes, I'm on the right track with the messages that I'm getting. And it just feels like you're going to be able to grow there. The image of the tree is, yes, it's strong, it's steady, it's stable, and at the same time, it has flexibility and it moves, and it's in a period of growth. It's in a period of expansion. It's not stagnant. It's not broken down. It's growing very rapidly. So I would say yes to pursue that position, and also to, in meditation, I see you sitting down, tuning into the energy of the people who are working there, and pulling your own spread of cards. I'm gonna say I'm feeling 3 people around you who are really significant, and to pull one card for each of them. It feels like 2 coworkers and 1 supervisor or higher up at the school. So just kind of pull that card, and I'm seeing it in the shape of like a crescent moon. So you're doing the higher up and then the 2 coworkers, and getting the energy vibe on them through your own spread. And just talk to them or write to them, journal to them, and just let them know what it is that you want from them and what you also have to offer them, in a really clear-hearted, open, honest, and thoughtful way. So now is about laying the energetic groundwork with them, and also reaching out on the physical level and starting to get the interview process going. So I say that's a big go ahead from what I am feeling around it. Okay, and then your second card is Round and Round. This is a card that comes in when there's a pattern that keeps repeating itself. And this I'm feeling in relation to your first question around boundaries. Um, it just feels to me like it's not you who's caught in this loop, but it's the other person in the situation. And I'm just seeing this kind of like, it looks like a spinning top. The energy right now from that person feels draining. And I'm feeling you in a little bit of a weakened state where you might feel a little bit tired, or you might feel a little bit like your energy is just being pulled in many different directions. And so, kind of tightening up those boundaries around yourself, doing, like I had said for Karen, some self care, some really devoted self care time. Sometimes we throw that word around, and I know I do as well. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to have an extremely busy day, and then I'm going to take a bath, and that's going to take care of everything. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does, but a lot of times, like, I really need to pause throughout my day and just kind of pull myself back into myself, if that makes sense. Um, so I would suggest that over the next 3 days, especially with the energy of the moon, to just tighten up your energy field, pull it in. Try not to overextend yourself with like any social gatherings, or you know any, even mind space. Keeping the mind space clear, not going into too much worry or fear, and if you are, writing it down and releasing it, so that you keep your energetic space really really clear. And that will keep that spinning top that I'm seeing kind of at arm's length, like still around you, but not directly in your energy field, but close enough that it is pulling on you. That will keep that spinning top further away. And you don't, like you had said, just tighten up and keep that at a distance, because it doesn't feel like a good connection right now. It feels like it could be a little bit uncomfortable, if not a little bit, very, very draining, I would say. Okay, so those are my two readings for tonight. So thank you guys again for listening and for tuning in. Again, Giovanna, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out by email or directly through Instagram. I'm happy to answer questions about my readings. When I'm working with clients, I always do offer within the next day or two working with me to please feel free to send me some questions. As you can see, the information starts coming in. I kind of talk fast, and sometimes it's a lot to take in a 45-minute or hour and a half period of time. So I do always offer that there will be a period of time where you can reach out to me and ask for clarity on anything that I have said. And if you would like to have a free 1 or 2 card reading, as it turned out tonight, please feel free to get in touch with me. My website is wisewomanliving.net. You can also send me a direct message through Instagram, or you can contact me through email, and all of that information is in my profile. So thank you guys again. I will be back in the next few days. I'm hoping to bring a live lesson on reading cards for yourself and tuning into your own intuition, so that you can do what I'm doing and really bring yourself to a more powerful place in your life, using these tools that I think are so important and so necessary for getting us to the places in our lives that we want to be. But a lot of people just maybe feel a little bit unsure, or don't trust their intuition, or they feel like they're getting an answer but they're not sure if it's true or not. And I really want to be here to teach you and help you to learn how to trust that instinct, how to trust that vibe that you're getting, so that you can make really great, powerful decisions for yourself. So thank you guys again, and I will talk to you again shortly. Enjoy your tea.